Oh, so good evening, everyone. Okay, we are gonna do the celebrating Pesach, and we're counting to Shavuot. That will take advantage and learn Musaf of Shlosh Tagarim.
What was going to do Anim Zemirot?
We said Anim Zemirot, so Anim Zemirot, but we can vote. I have Anim Zemirot and Musaf Shlosh Tagarim. Can I vote for Anim Zemirot? If you're expecting Anim Zemirot, we have an Anim Zemirot.
You said.
Okay, if that's what I said. I don't remember what I said. That's what.
You done all of that.
So do Anim Zemirot. So okay, Anim Zemirot is fun. It is a fun topic. Okay, so let's go Anim Zemirot.
But
We'll
once
do the
you
Bakel Cup.
dive in, you have no support.
Anim Zemirot is fun. I said last time, now I do recall, that Anim Zemirot, I heard from my rabbi once, they give it to kids because it's too holy for adults to actually say it and mean it. So it might as well, someone that doesn't understand what he's saying. Another reason is there is very problematic statements. Anim Zemirot is very problematic for many reasons, as it has physical descriptions of God. And we don't make physical descriptions of God. We're very much anti. Now, if it was reading psukim of prophets, then nicha, but we're taking words, it's new descriptions of God and descriptions of God for Kabbalah reasons, mystical reasons, whatever the metaphorical, obviously, but they're always seen as controversial. Anim Zemirot is not controversial today, as everyone says it, but the content itself is based on the Kubalim and Kabbalah and Jewish mysticism. It's a bit late. Yeah, we're gonna Anim Zemirot. We all know about it.
We know who wrote it and when.
That I was gonna check because I prepared. I was gonna check. I'll fill in at the end for next time who wrote Anim Zemirot in the history of development. The bi'ur itself is what we're gonna deal with today. It is late. It is like.
Here it says it was written by the Maharal and it was written for Leil Yom Kippur.
It's part of Shiri.
No, it's part of Shir. I know it's part of Shir. I don't know who wrote it. He said Maharal wrote it. Very nice.
That's what it says.
Part of Shir.
Parol Leil Yom Kippurim.
I think Maharal
Arai
applied.
Maharal Amaritza כי המהר"ל בסוגריים והיו שהסתייגו ממנו מפני שהחשש שהדימויים שבו קרובים מדי להגשמה.
Yeah, it's a controversial one.
Right. Parol, you don't know.
Yeah, why? Because Mekubalim won.
That's nice too.
Nice too. Okay, so let's see. We're not going to do the hardcore Kabbalah, but we are going to explain what we can explain to them.
Am I wrong? I mean, let me ask the audience. Am I wrong? I remember growing up where Anim Zemirot was not written in the Sidur. It was not written responsively, like Shalif Tzibor, Shalom Tzibor. It was not written like that. It was just the whole Anim Zemirot.
I'm impressed that you think we might remember.
Were they written separate lines? Because I personally don't like it. Like you say, they give it to the kids to sing. I don't like it like that. I like when everybody
sings
sings it all together. And
Yeah.
I remember
Everybody saying
like
like
the
together.
Birnbaum sitters.
Yeah,
You know, it's learning that you always had it, like
There are two that we don't know.
Uh-huh. And I like them. When I grew up,
Okay, so let's see the structure in Zemirot. So the words here are also a bit difficult. Anim Zemirot v'shirim e'erog ki elecha nafshi ta'arog. Play on words there with ta'arog and ta'arog. Anim Zemirot, I will say nice melodies and songs. E'erog, I will knit, sew together, create a song. That means I'm going to sing and create a song. Why am I writing this song? That means the writer of the song is the introduction. I wrote the song because. Not why? Why am I telling this melody and writing the song? Erog, like erog, a tapestry. I'm weaving this song together. It yearns because my soul yearns to you. So it's a play on words, arog and ta'arog, because my soul yearns to you. Therefore, I'm creating the song. So it's the introduction of the author of the song. Why am I writing this? I'm yearning towards God. I'm full of God. I'm compelled to write the song, to sing the song and compose the song for you. That's called introduction line, where they're composer is telling, the author is telling you why he wrote the song. Why did I write the song? Nafshi arga. And it's a nice word. Arga, my soul yearns to God. Nafshi chamda be'tzed yadecha, ladad kol rasodecha. My soul chamda, echmod, yearns, covets, be'tzed yadecha, to be in God's hand. Be'tzed yadecha yechasiyun. Be'tzed yadecha yechasiyun is the pasuk, right? In God's shadow, you be protected. I yearn to be under God's protection, under God's wing, right? Ladad, but what ladad kol rasadecha. When that close to you, I can know all of God's secrets. What are God's secrets that He wants to know? He's gonna talk about. I want to know everything there's to know about God, and He's gonna elaborate what He discovers in this closeness, in this intimate relationship with God. What He learns about God.
Isn't that and so the same thing?
Yes, yes. The difference is sod is something I keep from you. A sod, a raz is something that's supposed to be secret. It's by definition, it's a raz. Not everyone's supposed to know about it. Not like a secret can be secret from you, secret from you, but something that by definition is always going to be a secret. Raz sadecha is a raz. Something knowing God is always something beyond it's always secret. Midei dabri bichvodecha, homel libi el dodecha. The more midei dabri bichvodecha, the more I talk midei dabri, the more I talk about God's kavod. Homel libi el dodecha. My soul yearns to dodecha, to God's love, right? God's love. The more I talk about God, the more I speak about God, the more because he's writing a song out of love of God. His soul's yearning towards God, to be close to God. The more he talks about God, the more he yearns for God. So he's going to talk about God. Therefore, based on previous line, because the more I speak about God's kavod, the more I speak about, the more my heart yearns for you and sings for God. Therefore, what am I going to do? I'm going to talk about God's kavod because I want to intensify this experience. Al-ken, what's al-ken? Therefore, because of the previous line, that midei dabri b'chvodecha homedi b'edodecha, al-ken adaber b'cha nechbadot. That's why I'm going to speak nechbadot. I'm going to talk about God's kavod. V'shimcha chabed b'shirei didot, and I will speak God's name kavod in songs of love. Yididut is the nefesh love. Why am I doing that? Because the more I sing about God, the more I talk about God's kavod, the more then my soul yearns more and feels close more of God's love. So this is the introduction, why I wrote the song and what I'm doing. This is all step part one, the introduction. My soul yearns for God. I want to feel God's closeness. And I discovered the more I talk about God's kavod and His glory, the more I feel this emotion towards God. And therefore, I am going to do this. Therefore, I'm going to make a song talking about God's kavod. Why? Because of the experience it makes me feel when I talk about God's kavod. So we already know how the song is supposed to be sung. There's part one introduction, and then there's the kavod itself, that we're supposed to join Him in His journey of speaking God's kavod and feel our soul yearning and wanting to and singing homeh. Homeh is making a sound, nafshi homiyah, right? A humming sound, a yearning sound of a bird.
Is there any significance to the first letters here, or that's
No.
it's all alphabet?
In what sense?
No, the rest of Masapra, it's all alphabet. Is there any significance to the first?
Then the introduction,
Right?
right? Introduction.
It's what shake the vote of something.
I didn't answer it, but you have part one introduction, and like you said, that's why the alphabet didn't start yet, because why I wrote this song? What's the purpose of the song? Now the song itself is a seder alphabet. So Aleph, Asapra, Kevodcha velo ticha, Adamcha, Achancha, velo yedaticha. I'm gonna speak about your glory without ever seeing you. And Adamcha, I'm gonna give you dimuyim. Achancha, I'm giving you kinuyim, velo yedaticha, without really knowing you fully. Meaning, He's warning us in advance. I'm gonna give God's nicknames. I'm going to compare Him to things, right? Without having seen it. Don't take it literal, right? I'm not, because He knows He's going to do it. We don't give God physical descriptions. So in advance, he says, listen, all the descriptions I'm going to be of God now, it's not because I saw God and I know how God looks, and if I'm describing him, no, that's not the reason why I'm. It's not even imagination. It's for the metaphor. We're supposed to the emotion is supposed to invoke with us what we connect to that image, and not because this is actually the image of God. So he hoped that adding that line in, and many of the Sifrei Mekubalim, Ramchal does it a lot. They say everything you are going to say here is Hakol Derech Mashal, shouldn't be taken literally, and then they talk very, very bluntly about God and how God's hands and legs and very, very tough things for randomistic ears to hear. But they think it's okay because in the introduction they said, don't take it literally what I'm saying. Okay? That sometimes that helps. Biyad nevi'echa, besod avadecha, dimita hadag k'vod hodecha. He says, how am I doing? How can I speak about God's glory without ever seeing him? Because these kinuim, these dimuyim, were stated by the Nevi'im, right? So all of his dimuim are going to be taken from various prophets throughout the Tanakh. I'm not making up these dimuim. These dimuim appear throughout the Tanakh. I'm just going to collect them for everyone's benefit, make it easy for them. So, biyad neviecha, besod avadecha, right? Your Nevi'im had a secret. They were servants. They got the sod, they got nevuah, they got to go into the ral sodecha. Remember the ral sodecha? The Nevi'im saw ral sodecha. Dimita hadak vodecha, and they gave dimuyim, they gave descriptions hadak vodecha, to your glory. So I don't want anybody blaming me for using any. It's apologetic in a bit. These two last lines. Everything I say, I didn't see anything. Right? Everything I said, I took descriptions from various Nevi'im. I'm putting it together in a new original way, but this is not me. So no one come blame me. There's the Nevi'im. This is what the Nevi'im said. I don't know. This is Nevi'im. This is how the Nevi'im dimu et hadak v'odech. Gdulatcha ugvuratcha kinu letokef pulatecha. Okay, your greatness and your power, they gave a kinuim to help us give tokef pulatecha, to better understand the way God works in the world. That's why these images, we're still in the apologetic stage, right? Explaining, I'm going to say very harsh things in a sec. Physical description of God. Introduction, why I'm doing it. First of all, I obviously didn't see anything. Second of all, the Nevi'im use this, right? And why they use it? To help us better understand God's actions and the way God works in the world, not because actually what God is. So, they gave kinuim to understand the way you work in the world. They gave you dimuyim, but not that you really are like that. And they compare you to physical things to describe the way God works in the world, right? Not what God is. We talk about Hofa'ot Hashem Ba'olam. We experience God as though He is a soldier fighting wars for us, right? When we win a war, it feels like, wow, that was a great general we had. So we're going to give a dimui of God as a general. But that's a dimui lo kefi yeshcha. And yeshvucha lefi ma'asecha, just what way you appear in this world by actions, things God did. So that's the purpose of all these dimuim. So therefore, taking it out, I think the reason they didn't take it out, even though we don't like it, is because read the introduction. Read the introduction. Half the song is introduction. Nothing should be taken literally. It's just dimuim taken from the prophets. They've used this, and I explain you why they use it, to understand the way we experience God, the way God appears in the world, but not that this is actually God. So much introduction, so much apologetic. Okay, now you can actually give God some dimuim. Hopefully, no one's going to make a mistake and think that God has a physical entity anyway. But still, like we read, many people did not like this and said, "No, we don't do it. No." The Kabbalah said, "If I'm going to do it, this is introduction." So this is not. This is already not instruction of the author, like why he's going to do it. This is apologetic, right? Or not apologetic, better way of saying clarification. So part one was, why did I write this song? Part two is to the note to the reader, right? Nothing you're about to read should be taken to the reader anyway. It's all taken from the prophets and for in order to understand how God works in the world. That's the two parts. We didn't get to the song. This is not the song. This is two introductions to the song.
They would call it conflict of interest. No conflict.
Right? There are many different mishalim. The visions of the prophets, they saw you in many different ways. Yet all the different mishalim that all the different saw, it's the same God. It's one God, and they're all talking about the same God. Even though all the prophets are going to describe God differently, He's all one. Right?
Also introduction.
Right?
It's also introduction.
Yeah.
Explanation.
Shilucha comes from the word mashal.
Yeah. You're the mashal. They made a mashal for you. There's all the when they see God, it's a mashal. They actually see God, it's a mashal for a message from God. Many visions. But you're Chazionot of the Nevim. Now we get to actually what the Nevim, description of the Nevim. Some prophets saw you as an old man. Some people saw you as a bacharut, as a young man. And how do we know if he's old or young? Depending, he's here. Old hair, or shacharut, or black hair. Right? So some prophets saw God as an old man, others saw him as a young man. Black hair, old hair. Why do they see him differently? They explain. Zikna b'yom din, u'bacharu b'yom krav. When he's coming to see his God is coming to judge the world, they saw God as an old man with a judge. How human beings envision a judge, right? I said, but people don't envision this when they see a Dan, right? They go to bed and they explain. Like for me, I see with two other Anim that are in their 70s and 80s, and they have long beards and they have that nice white hair. So, but that's how we envision the Beit Din. So when the prophet sees God coming Yom Din, he sees an old man.
Where in the beginning do they have these?
I have a connection. I prepared I was going to prepare but we definitely in Daniel you have it as a man, and you have as an old man. There's sees him as an old. Maybe also Daniel. Also Daniel. Daniel and Yechezkel only. Not many prophets talk about God Himself.
Right.
Daniel and Yechezkel do talk about Him, but
With that in
Tehillim also description of God. I have a collection. I've I'll bring to the introduction to Anim Zemirot and a collection of the different prophets where it took from. So, when God's war general leading us in war, coming to do war for us, then we see him as a young man. Kish milchamot yadav lo rav, like a war general, yadav rav, he has a lot in his hands. What is yadav lo rav? He has many things in his hands. War people have a lot of equipment. What equipment? Let's read. Chavash kova yeshua b'rosho. Right? He's wearing a hat, a helmet. Right? A helmet of Yeshua, of redemption. Hoshia lo yamino uzro kodashot. And he redeems us with his right hand, his right so okay, Hoshia lo yamin uzro kodashot. Yeah. Talei orot rosho nimla. His hair, description of God. His hair is talalei orot. What's talalei orot? Yeah, like curled hair, but of light, lit hair. That's got curled hair.
Except that talim curls is with the top.
So it can be talalim. Talalim can also be clouds, right? And talalim can also be tal. I think I always thought I meant it as clouds, because we talk about the old man, the young man, it's Chavash Kosher Barashot, the Tele Orot, Rosho Nimna. I always remember if Tali means the clouds, that's here was like clouds full of light. Yeah, lit cloud. Yeah. But edges, the edges of his hair, his bangs, are dark. So therefore, I think that description is white here, like Tale Orot, Rosho Nimna, this is man here. And his edges is the blackness of dark. Dark at night. Now, God, what is God? God mitpaer bi Israel asher bcha etpaer. God mitpaer in Am Israel. Why does God mitpaer in Am Israel? Am mitpaer etpaer? Because He wants us. And He is my ateret, right? Tzvi, like God mitpaer in us, and we are. God is our crown as well. We're proud of God is with us. Ateret tzvi is, of course, like the horns of the tzvi. What shows off? What does he show? What does the tzvi show off with? His antlers, right? So ateret tzvi means antlers. So really, God is for us like our antlers that we show the world. This is who I am. Look how big it. You see. Antlers of a tzvi, they're ridiculously long. The malproportionate. It's not why you need so much to show off. And my wife's biologist, she always says, one of the theories of why antlers are so big, it's not practical, is just to show, yeah, I'm that strong. I can carry extra weight. And it's more difficult to get away with these antlers, but hey, I'm that big and strong. I'm not afraid. I can so you'll be there, but you're proud of it. Those are not one they fall off, one they don't fall off. They fall off the moose, they fall off. But I don't think the moose. Anyway, there's a show off. That's what we said. God is mispervas. Because He wants to connect with it, and we're mitper Hashem. God is like our antlers. Like the crown of the tzvi, which is the antlers. Lechen ulchavod tzvi tif'ara. Ketem tau paz. Okay. Ketem tau paz demut rosho vechak al metzach kvod shem kol sho. Again, discussion with God. Ketem topaz is shining gold. His head is like shiny yellow gold. Type of gold. No, ketem is a type of gold.
There's a lot of personification here with the Rosho and the Risisim and the Tmut Rosho and the Netzach.
Yep, we're not going to what they mean.
It's God, it's not a person.
Yeah,
No,
we're
really.
in discussion. Went to here and to Knesset Laila. And now we're saying that his face is like gold, right? V'chak al metzach, and on his forehead, he has engraved Kvod Shem Kodsho. God's name is engraved in his forehead. This describes of. We know that Kohen Gadol has Yud Ke Datzitz, but here he's like talking about God again. Like he has a lot of introductions. I'm not going to more introductions than is brought in the song itself. I don't have to bring, right? Nothing's literal. All taken from the prophets.
Like a poem, like art, like he doesn't have to.
Yeah, but no, he gave introduction. Like, don't be confused. And I'll give you a next poem why I'm talking about God, because he explains also why he's writing this song. Why you even bother writing it? Tell you, because the more I talk about God, the more my soul yearns for it. So again, his Demut Rosho is like gold, right? And on his forehead, we have the God's name engraved in his holy name is engraved in his forehead. Lechen ulechavod tzvi tifara, umato lo itra tara. For beauty and for honor, tzvi tifara, and glory of like the glory of the tzvi, like we mentioned in the previous story, like the antlers. Umato lo itra atara. Umato, his nation, made a crown. So I always imagine this. I didn't find anyone who said it, but I'm sure there might be. Doesn't mean there isn't. That may be really talking about the Kohen Gadol. And now it's saying, and the Kohen Gadol dresses this way in honor of Hashem. That's what I want to read it. So, that means the Kohen Gadol that's wearing the big day zahav. And that's what Ken Tarpaz, Demut Rosho, right? He looks like gold. It's Demut Rosho. Demut Rosho sounds like more like his head, but maybe it means his entire Demut looks like gold with the God's name engraved. And then he's dressed this way in honor of Hashem. But again, that's my only, I didn't see anyone that was going in that direction. Machlafot Rosho. Right, his hair when you see him as a young man, obviously, how does his hair look? This proves that what I want to say earlier, when the old man, the tatalei orot rosho nimla is clouds, white clouds, because I already talked about the white. We can't talk about the hair twice.
One is earlier was with the test. Here it's taltalim.
Yeah, I'm saying here is definitely taltalim is curly, black curly hair. We talk the old man, the young man, and the old man, his hair is white, like the clouds, light clouds, and gold, and maybe reminds him a little bit of the Kohen Gadol kind of vision that we dress the Kohen Gadol, Kavod Tif'ara, right? And now the young man, how does he look? His hair, we said, is like a young man, black curls. Neviat Tzedek Tzvi Tifarto. His curls, each curl. Like Machlafot Rosho are the different Machlafot Rosh, different parts of the hair. The braids are the braids are like young. What do you mean the young? He explains that they're curly and black. Neviat Tzedek Tzvi Tifarto Yalena al Rosh Simchato. Right, like Neviat Tzedek, which is obviously Jerusalem, Tzvi Tifarto, which is God's Tiferet, Yalena al Rosh Simchato, will be on his hair. He will wear on his head of a simcha. It sounds like a chatan getting married, a young person getting married. When we get married, this is like the description of Hashem. This is how he looks when he's in his wedding day. So again, he looks like a young man on his wedding day. Sgulator tiyi biyado ateret, u'tznif melucha tzvi tiferet. Sgulator is a plain word. Am Yisrael is the sgula, or am sgula. Tiyi biyado ateret. Am Yisrael is like his ateret, like his head, his hand. He has the ateret, right, for a head covering. V'tznif melucha tzvi tiferet, and the tzanif, the garment he's wearing of melucha tzvi tiferet. Again, where tzvi is why is it biyado ateret? I guess he's not wearing it. He could wear it. Why is he wearing the? It's a good question. Why is he wearing it? Isn't ateret? Musim nesa'am. Muslim is a nickname for Am Yisrael. Nesa'am ateret indam me'asher yakru beinav ki bedam. Okay, so let's wait. Amusim Am Yisrael nesa'am, right? He's noseh. Amusim nesa'am. Hashem is noseh avon pesha. He carries Am Yisrael that amusim betzarot and avonot. God lifts them up regardless. Ateret indam, and he puts a crown on them. Am Yisrael amusim, from suffering, from sins. Tin nesa'am, and he puts a crown on them. Ma'asher yakru benav kibdam, and he respects them, Mashiach Benav. They're not, it gives more respect than they deserve. Masher Yakru Benav Kibdam. He gives more kavod, mi chafetz yakar kavod yoter mimeni, right? That's who deserves Masher Yakru Benav Kibdam. So what Hashem is doing for Am Yisrael, picking them up, that's too much. Am Yisrael is not worthy, deserving of this respect. So that's Masher Yakru Benav Kibdam. More than they actually deserving God's eyes, God still shows them respect.
Where else is Amosim referring to Israel?
We many times, Am Yisrael and Navis many times refer to as the Muslim. We have some in Tefillah, and the Shir of
That connects to the name Amos.
I was made a Muslim Amos, but yeah. Pero alai, oferi alav. Going back to mentions earlier, right? We are Perog, God's glories, Per is on us, Tefillin, right? Per elav, our God. God wears us a tiferet. Remember, we said that earlier with Yitper bi ki chavetz bi. We are Mekadesh Shamayim Ba'olam, and God is Mitper ba'am Yisrael. V'karov elai v'kori elav, and God is close to me. Miki Hashem Elokeinu, Ken v'chol korenu elav, right? God is close to us when we call out to Him. Now, a description of God that has to do with Mot Mashiach. Tzach v'adam l'busho adom. Pora b'darko b'vo me'edom. This is the Chamus Bgadim Me'edom, the famous vision of the prophet, where God comes with nice white clothes, all covered with blood, right? And where do you come from? Come to vengeance in Edom, right? And that's part of the prophecy of Yemot Mashiach. So we're saying Tzach v'adam l'busho adom, right? White and red became his clothes. Pora b'darko b'vo me'edom. Pora. What have they translated Pora there? Pora b'vo. Pora. I think that's with Betzir. I think that's with the making of the wine there, because in the prophecy they're making wine. That's where that's why his clothes should be red. B'vo me'edom. So that's referring to. It's another version of God. Mashiach is God coming in white clothes, covered in red. That's God doing vengeance in Edom.
I thought that was Edom, like with the place.
It is. From Edom, the place. So the first Adom is red. Tzach v'adom l'vusha adom, right? That's red. Pora b'darko, when you make the grapes, b'darko, and it's right from Edom. He's referring to this is the prophet seeing the vision of Yemot Mashiach. Now more visions that we all know about. Rosh Dvacha Emet. Kesher Tefillin Nera Le'anav. Right, that's famous midrash that says Moshe Rabbeinu saw God wearing tefillin. Tmunat Hashem Neged Enav. He also saw God in the description that not to sapir, all this version of Mount Sinai that Moshe Rabbeinu saw. Anavim Yefer. God wants Am Yisrael. Anavim nickname for Am Yisrael. Not Anavim that were humble. Anavim that were humble against their will. Were mushpalim. Right? Yefer, but God Yefer us. Yoshev Tilo Bamita. We may not be worthy of it. We might not be. We're nothing, and Hashem still loves us because we love Him, and He's mitpe'er banu. He's proud of us. He glorifies us. Rosh Dvarcha Emet Kore Merosh. Right? The first thing you said, Rosh Dvarcha Emet. Right? That's from the beginning. God, everything God spoke from the beginning is Emet. Kore Merosh Dor Vador. And you call out from the beginning. What are you calling out from the beginning? That's Emet. Am Doreshcha. Dorosh. Right? It says, Am Yisrael, you have to call out to God. God is Am Yisrael has to do Am Doreshcha. Dorosh. That means,
The door,
yeah, from,
every door.
מראש, no, ראש דברך אמת, קורא מראש, right, ראש דברך, the part you said from the beginning is true, right, קורא מראש, דובר, you call from the beginning, and for every generation, this, you said this from the beginning, and for every generation, what? Am doreshcha, right, Am Yisrael, that should be drosh, demand, should be yearning for Hashem, drosh, ask for Hashem. The nation is supposed to be looking for God, yearning for Hashem and asking for Hashem, midroshing from Hashem, looking for Hashem. Drosh, why are they doing it? They should do it. They should midrosh Hashem. Shit hamon shirai na'alecha, bestow all my snows ending. Go towards the ending. Bestow shit hamon shirai, all my songs on God. V'natiti kavelech, and my tunes should come close to you, Hashem. Tehilati tiroshcha ateret. My tehillah, like was mentioned in the song, should really be mekadesh Shem shamayim ba'olam. My tehilati should be tiroshcha ateret. Should be, God should be proud of me. Put on my crown. V'tfilati, my prayers tikon k'torah should go up like a Torah goes up. Tikar she'adrash, still this is all the ending. This is already the ending, right? Ending part. Tikar she'adrash beinecha. Tikar means should be yakar, should be precious. The shirat rash, the song of someone rash, poor and miserable like me. Beinecha, you should see it. Kashiru shal korbanecha, the song the Levim sing in Beit HaMikdash. Sing this song I sang. I know it's nothing, but can you treat it like it's more, like he said previously, that Masher ku benav ki bedam. God, praise us more than what we're worthy, more than what we really are. So take the song, treat it like it's a song that was sung in Beit HaMikdash by the Levim. Why not? Birchati tere rosh mashbir, right? My song should go up. Le rosh mashbir. Mashbir is the shevet ala shavar, when a woman gives birth. Lashbir, to give birth. The rosh mashbir to the mashbir. The mashbir is also the provider. Mechol.
The word from Yosef, right?
Yeah.
Yosef,
Shavar.
that's right.
I remember correctly, mashbir here, it has to do with childbirth. Mecholel molid tzaddik kabir, right? That brings life and molid.
Dances.
Mecholel. No, I think it's the shake. No, mecholel. I think it's different stages of the childbirth. A giving child is the mashbir, the shaking of childbirth, and then molid tzaddik kabir. Uvechati tenana ani rosh, and my blessing, nod me ahead. And that means nod at me. Like when I give you this blessing, show me a sign that you accepted it. Show me a sign. How do you show me? Nod your head. Something. Nod me rosh that you accepted my baracha. And accept it as besamim to your head. But smell. My song should be accepted because my soul yearns for you. That's the purpose he wrote the song. So the structure again, he wrote the song because his soul yearns for God. So love song to God, using dimuim from the prophets that he shouldn't be using, but the prophets used it and he wants to use it, and he's saying it because the more he talks about God, the more it invokes this love of God. And it's a beautiful song. It's a beautiful song. There's a reason we say it every Shabbat. What?
I would give it to children.
Oh, because of dimuim, the dimuim. And it was a song that there was no, there's kind of yeah.
And how they,
Kids.
the last two lines, the Hashem, like how they get attached to it.
That's we're going to talk next time we talk about who wrote it, and it's not part of the song. So Chazak Baruch. Oh, by the way, the alphabet ended, and then the ending part's obviously is after the alphabet. But his ending part when he starts with Tika Shiradash Beinecha, right? Please accept my Tov. Laila Tov.